So I think that shows you that there's still a lot more work to be done from a policy and regulatory standpoint. So at this phase, I think I would certainly talk to your lawyer, but I would feel more comfortable experimenting when in situations where users control their own funds.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I've gotten as well. We've spoken to several lawyers in different jurisdictions to try to understand how each jurisdiction sees the definition of custody and the
Mhm.
licensing that comes with it, and the transfer of value and the licensing that comes with it. So it seems like, yeah, I appreciate that. That kind of confirms my understanding as well. And if time permitting, the second question is more around like how OKX or OKCoin interacts on an institutional liquidity provider level for either DeFi or other partner CeFi entities in terms of providing liquidity for lending and borrowing, and how you guys engage in that capacity.
You mean how do we as an organization work with institutions to provide
Yeah,
collateral or to provide
collateral or assume collateral and provide, give out loans in stable coins, like whether it's another CeFi institution, like a fintech engaging in a different area, or like a DEX, for example.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So, from our business standpoint, we view ourselves more on the technology side front and less on as a financial company. So we generally don't do much of that with our own balance sheet.
Okay.
That said, we do work with a lot of institutions that do enable that, and we try to provide, we try to connect the dots, right? Like I think that's where what our value add is. We're connecting either buyers and sellers, or we're connecting liquidity sources to people that need liquidity. So on the CeFi platform, for example, there is an ability for you to put up your assets on the exchange and make it available for lending to other users, for example, right? And institutions partake in that as well. What one thing that I think on the institutional side that we're seeing is that slightly tangential is that um, the trend towards custodying assets off exchange is an interesting one. Meaning, large financial institutions, sorry, just financial institutions are increasingly mandated or prefer to keep. They want to trade with us, but they want to keep their assets somewhere else. So,
Mm,
as an example, we just announced last week uh, that we're working with Standard Chartered Bank to enable customers to keep their assets at Standard Chartered, but still
mm,
have the availability of that on platform. And Standard Chartered will also help, as more institutions get onboarded to that type of facility, they can also help us connect those dots, right? Like you said, whether it's for liquidity purposes or other reasons. So that's sort of our role, and so we don't directly put our funds into liquidity pools or things like that on chain yet.
okay, awesome. If you don't mind, would love to continue the conversation. So I don't want to monopolize the time. So if you have contact information, I would love to take it.
Yeah, happy to share that. Albert, I can share that with you guys and you can share it with the rest. I can take one more question before I need to hop, if anyone has more.
Yeah, hello, Jason. Big fan of OKX. I appreciate your insight so much. I have one question. So what are some of the requirements to say, implement a new protocol? And I'm specifically talking about Doge ordinals. Um, I guess what are the requirements? Is it volume? Is it the one of the biggest issue that at least I know is the indexer issue, right? Because that's really necessary. But yeah, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, I think implementing a new protocol, supporting new assets, listings, I think they all um, come under sort of one broader approach for us, which is and boils down to my earlier point about just trying to be really user focused. Unfortunately, we do service a wide range of users, and we do have to prioritize. And I think that's ultimately where the team tries to juggle the challenges from technical, right, to user demand, and also market liquidity and and all that. So it's not that look, I don't think we make the right decisions on everything. I know a lot of people have asked for Dojinals to be supported, and early on it did seem like Dojinals were pretty exciting. But then we saw some of we look at the data and we talked to and it seemed like there were, right, like you said, some indexer issues, but also there are other crypto moves fast too, right? And so we try our best to keep up. I can't say we're trying to please everyone, but that's the tough calls that our teams have to make, looking at the data, looking at sort of that user response. That said, if users are vocal and they want something, and we generally do hear it, I think that's how we try to prioritize, is by listening to what users want.